Oh, welcome to the Sharpe Show. So happy to have you with me this evening on this amazing Marine Corps birthday. 249 years old. I look really good for 249, don't I? And for all my other fellow Marines, brothers and sisters out there, happy birthday. A little bit past 7 p.m. on the East Coast. And I'm not wearing my normal Sharpe Show or my normal Larry Sharpe shirt today. I decided to try something odd today. I'm wearing a 25-year-old shirt. Yes, this is a shirt I actually had when I was in the Marine Corps. It's actually green, but because of my green screen, it shows it as not green, but it actually is green. It actually is a green shirt. So I'm wearing it because I want to see if I can fit in it. So it's a little tight. It is a little tight, but it is 25 years ago. So at least I can still fit in it, but it is a little bit tight. That's a little stretchy. I get it, but it's all right. At least I can fit into it. And I wanted to show you that because I thought this would be kind of cool to do today. So I not only did I find this, and I thought some of you would laugh, but some of you might know what this is. The crossed cannons, oops, sorry, wrong side. Crossed cannons represents artillery. And my first tour, I did 2 tours in the Marine Corps. The first tour was on the ground side. I was in 08, for those of you who know what 08 is, that's artillery. I was in 0844, which means that you're either fire direction control or survey. I was in both. I was in several different units, headquarters unit and an actual battery. If you ever look behind me, there's a picture. You can see it back there. That's a picture of my unit when I was with an artillery battery back in Okinawa, Japan. That's what I have behind me. That's a photo of my unit. I'm actually in that. So yes. So and NGF, for those of you who don't know, actually means naval gunfire. That's what it stands for. If you are an 0861, this is 25 years ago, I don't know if that's still true today. But back in the day, if you were an 0861, that meant you were you called in the fire. That's what you did. You were either assigned to an infantry unit or you were assigned as your own scout unit to go out and bomb targets and such. You could either call in artillery strikes or you could call in naval gunfire. The big guns, right? The Missouri and such that's firing, right? They would fire out there because someone would call in. I could probably still call in artillery fire today. That's the funny part. I probably could call it in today, and it's been again 25 years, and I could probably still call in an artillery strike today if I had to. I don't know why I would ever have to call in an artillery strike, but if I ever did, if you ever need someone to do that, I got you. I don't know why you didn't need that, but I could actually do it. I just thought it was interesting to do this, to talk about my time there. My second tour, I was in 02, which is intelligence, and I was on the air side. So I shifted from the ground side to the air side. Now, why would I bring some of these things up? I bring this up because I am still a Marine. You see it in things that I do, the way I talk, the way I act. You see to this side here, this actually was on my desk when I was a platoon sergeant. It says Marine Corps on the side. My rank is on the other side, and that was my name. I still have it. Like, it hasn't gone away from me. I still have the shirt. And I'll go one step further. I brought this for you guys too. Hold on. I still have my uniform jacket. Hold on. All righty. I haven't rolled sleeves in years, so my sleeve rolling is not very good, but I do still have it. And to prove that it's actually mine, for those of you know, this is old school. It actually has my name on it still. See that? My name is still there. Name is still there. This is my old uniform. I still have one. I didn't roll my sleeves well. Some of you are going to be yelling at me for that, but I still have it. And it fits. See, I can actually button it. So I can still button my blouse, as they would say. I could still do it if I had to. So it's still there. So I know I am kind of joking around, but yes, see that? Look at that. Still fits. I can still do it. All right. I have everything. I still have a gas mask. Isn't that nut? I still have a gas mask. So yeah, I still have a bunch of stuff. I still have from a ship. I took a wool blanket from a ship. Still have that. All kind of crazy stuff. So yeah, so I still have it. Shall I leave this on? Let's leave it on. Now, someone get mad because it's not ironed well. It's not pressed. Someone will get mad at me. It's not pressed and the sleeves aren't good. So yeah, absolutely. And Joseph goes, thanks to your keto, you can button your blouse. That is an accurate statement, my friend. If I hadn't been on keto for 14 years, I would not be able to button my blouse. You are correct. I could probably squeeze into the shirt too. So yes, I do thank keto for that. So I do appreciate it. Just want you guys to see that. I thought it was kind of cool. But I bring that up because it actually became a very important part of my life. And it became an important part of my life for a couple of reasons. When I when I joined the Marine Corps, I'll tell some of you know the story, but I'll tell it anyway, for those of you who haven't heard it yet. I actually wasn't going to join the Marine Corps. My father was in the Army, and he met my mother in Germany. American flag, German flag. And he met my mother in Germany. So he came back here I am. So I was going to be like my father, and I was going to join the Army. Now, I didn't have a father in my life. Obviously, my father died when I was 11. So I was desperately searching to somehow figure out how to be a man. So I decided, all right, I'm going to join the Army. That was what I was not planning to join the Marine Corps at all. But where I lived, there were all four of the branches together, all four together. So I went to the building. I had all four of them. I passed the Navy, and I passed the Air Force. And I went to the Army. The Marine Corps was the last one. So I go into the Army recruiter, and he's like, yes, we're going to make you a general in 3 weeks. It's so great. Everything's awesome. I'm thinking, this is great. I'm 17 years old. Can't wait to join the Army and be all I can be. That's what I was going to be, right? So I come out, and waiting for me is the Marine Corps recruiter. He brings me in, and he says, that guy promised you everything, right? I said, yeah, I'm going to be general, going to be doing all this kind of cool stuff. It's going to be amazing. I'm in the Army. It's going to be great. He says, I'm going to promise you one thing. I said, what? He said, 4 hard years. Are you ready? I went, yes, I am. And I think about that all the time. Why in the world did I do that? The Army guy promised me every damn thing. Like, yes, oh, it's going to be great. It's awesome. Promised me everything. And I ditched it for some guy who said, you ready to be a man? And I was like, yes. And that's really what he said. I wanted desperately at 17 years old to have positive male role models, which I didn't know then. I mean, it was instinct. I couldn't have told you that then. I can look back now with clarity and know that back then is what I wanted. And I could see it. And I wanted that. Desperately, I wanted that. So I said yes. My mom didn't want me to join. I said, I'm going without you if you want. She knew. She just signed. She's like, that's a good, go in. I signed when I was 17. She's like, yep, go, all good. And then I went off to boot camp. A lot of people talk about the idea of male rites of passage. We have destroyed the male rite of passage. And you might go, well, that's good, Larry. It's not good. And does it matter? It's not good. When does a man have to become a man? Women complain all the time. Oh, he's 30 years old and still a boy. Did he have a rite of passage? Did he have one or not? I was lucky. Mine was Marine Corps boot camp. And for many of you who joined the service, it was boot camp. Might have been Marine Corps, might have been Coast Guard, might have been Navy, might have been Army, whatever, right? But for many people, and sometimes people had a rite of passage before that, right? Depends on who it was. It could have been somebody else. Something else that happened and, they made you step up. Maybe you had a parent who passed away and you had to step up. Maybe you had some happening where you had to step up. But when did you have to step up? Right? When was that time for you? For many of us, it was our basic training or boot camp, depending upon where you went and what you did. For me, it absolutely was. I say all the time, I was a lost punk at 17. And if it wasn't for the Marine Corps, it saved my life. And I don't mean that as a joke. I don't mean that my mom was an addict. She was on her way to jail. I'd have been around that. That's where I would have been at 17, 18. I didn't have any money for college. My mom had no money. I had no money. We couldn't have gone to college. No way that could have worked. The Marine Corps saved my life. That is why I will always be a Marine. I tease people sometimes. I say, I spent 7 years in a cult. They go, really? Yeah. I got branded and everything. But it's the best cult I was ever a member of, and I'm still kind of in it. So it's all good. So it's still all good. It saved my life. You might say, well, Larry, that means it's good for everybody. And there should be a draft. I know a lot of people believe that. I do not. I volunteered. I chose. You should do it if you choose to. Understand what it is. Understand how it is. When you join the military, you voluntarily sacrifice your rights. Let me say it again. You voluntarily sacrifice your rights. And that's okay. It's voluntary. I no longer had at all. I no longer had freedom of speech. I did not. I no longer had freedom of movement. I did not. I did not have that anymore. But what I got for it, I happily swapped. Happily swapped it. Would do it again if I had to. Absolutely, happily swapped it. Now, why do I bring this up? I bring this up because there's an issue with men and masculinity today. And when I went in the Marine Corps, boy, I went in there because I wanted to be a badass. I want to be a tough guy. I got my tattoo when I thought it was tough guys got tattoos. Now everybody's got tattoos. But back then, only tough guys got tats. Now I thought I was a tough guy. Now I come back, I'm just some dude. But yeah, trying to be tough guys, hardcore. So we wanted to be. We wanted to be men, masculine. Wear those cool uniforms that the girls swoon. And I got to tell you, a lot of girls did swoon. Just telling you, it's true. A lot of girls did swoon, put the uniform on. A lot of them did. Just true. So it did work. But there's something else. That masculinity that I had when I joined the Marine Corps, I was on the ground side. There were no women on the ground side. It wasn't legal. The women didn't go on the ground side. There was some in the admin here or there. There's very few women in my world. I was heavily masculine. And man, we were aggressive. And for those of you who were in the Marine Corps in the same time frame, 80s and 90s, we were aggressive. We were nasty. We were mean in many ways. We talked. Many ways. We used to sing songs, and I remember we used to sing songs about bombing people, sing songs about killing people. That was the thing. We would talk about how, for some people it would sound horrible, but we talk things like how blood makes the grass grow. We would say things like this normally, talk about horrible things. Now, I never went to combat. It's very clear. I'm not Tim Waltz. I was an active Marine during combat. So I am a first Gulf War era veteran. I am not a veteran of the war. I'm a veteran of the era. So you know what time I went, what time I was in. So I never went to combat. But there was a couple of times where we thought we might go to combat. And when we did, it was very nonchalant. It was like, yeah, probably going to die. Yeah, probably going to die. We were aggressive. We were very masculine. A lot of that's gone away. And you see how so many young men are searching to somehow be masculine. What I saw as masculine when I was 18, 19, 20, 21 is horribly toxic masculinity now. Terribly toxic masculinity now. Okay, but what replaces it? And I would argue that nothing does. And that's the biggest problem. We haven't found a place or a thing to replace it. And here will be my example of this and how it's hurting America. It's hurting America in many ways. I'll go from politically to security to relationships to everything in between. Everything in between. Security. We have not made our recruiting numbers in years. 10, 20%. Army, Navy, Air Force. But there is one service that keeps making its numbers. Yes, the Marine Corps. It keeps making its numbers. Why? I'm going to give you what I think is a reason. You tell me if I'm wrong, and maybe I'm just biased. But you tell me if I'm wrong. Here is, from their own website, to be clear, here is an actual Army recruitment commercial from their website. It's not the crazy one. It's a regular one. You know the one? It's a regular one. Here it is. Dude shows up, nice and diverse, men and women, pooches, families, Asians, mixed. Not a bad commercial. Not bad, right? Hey, anyone can join. You can be one of us. Come on, go do something great. Not bad. Not a bad commercial. Here is the Marine Corps commercial. Again, from their website. I want to make sure I'm not pulling on anything else. This is from their website so that we're clear I'm not, trying to somehow make weird stuff. This is from their commercial.
Marines are made for this. Made for the calling only warriors can answer. Made from an unshakable belief in our nation and a strength that comes from the determination to win together. But you'll have to earn your place among us, because you don't join the Marines. You become one.
Way different. Way different. This is why the Marine Corps keeps making its numbers every year, because so many young men want to be men and they don't know how. They don't. And the Marines go, I got you. Come. And it ain't going to be easy. And you're not just getting in. You don't get that here. You got to work your ass off and prove that you are one of us. And there are thousands upon thousands of young men saying, yes, I want to prove myself to be great. Yes, I want to prove myself to do something. This is why the Marine Corps keeps going on again and again and again, and keeps making its numbers every single year. Why would I bring all of that up? Why? Because we talked the other day about this being an election about masculinity versus femininity. And I think a lot of men want this. They want to figure out what masculinity is. I think the country has lost what it is. Don't get me wrong. There's toxic masculinity. That is a thing. I don't want to say it isn't a thing. But we've gone to a point where all of it's toxic, which is clearly not true. But there is toxic masculinity. I want to be clear. I don't ever want them to think that it's not such a thing. That does exist. It absolutely does. But we've gone to a point where all masculinity is toxic. Well, it's not true. And it's unhealthy. And it destroys men. Now, here's the worst part. It also destroys women. Because again, as I've said before, there are some women who do not want relationships at all. Don't care at all. About 10% last time I saw some data on that. And they're fine. They don't care if men are masculine, feminine. They don't care. Whatever. They're not interested. Okay, good for you. But most women would like a masculine man. Again, not all, but the majority. And that's crystal clear through data. Most women want a masculine man. A masculine man. Well, if you don't know what masculine is, how do you know how to act it? How do you know how to be it? Where is your example? If you're told that masculinity is by default toxic, and there are many people saying that, how do you know what's non-toxic? So you do one of two things. You become super masculine guy and then toxic, or you become not masculine guy, and then again, that's a problem. Either way, the vast majority of women are going to be unhappy because most women, again, do want a masculine man. This is a problem. But I go someplace else. Most men want to be masculine. They often don't know how. They don't have good examples. It's a problem. The Marine Corps creates that. Now, here comes the worst part. Now I get a bunch of people who are rushing to be Marines or whatever the case may be. And they come back into a world that doesn't like the toxicity. Toxicity, yes. I'm air quoting in case you're just listening. I'm air quoting. Doesn't like their masculinity. What happens? They're lost. And they want to go back to places that accept their masculinity. And they check out. And they only go to places where people can hear them and understand them. That's where they go. So now we lose them from the pool. Now, why does it matter to have veterans in the pool? I'll tell you why it matters to have veterans in the pool. Because you want people who are mission oriented. You want people who care about the team and the group, who aren't only motivated by money. I'm not against money. You guys know I like money. In fact, super chat me, give me money, right? So yes, I absolutely want money. Give me money. The difference is, though, you don't want to be only money. And there are many people in this world who it's only about money. But it should be about mission, purpose, and money, right? I want you to make money. We should all make money, pay our bills. Big fans of that, right? Big fans of that. But most important point is, where's your mission? Where's your purpose so that you can get that money? That's the issue that I'm not seeing here. We need more veterans in that world, and they're not, particularly more Marines, and they push to the curb. And I feel that what actually happened in this last election is people actually looked at it and said, you know what? I feel it. I want some masculine energy. And they felt it in Joe Rogan. And they felt it in Donald Trump. They even felt it in RFK Jr. They felt the masculine energy. And of course, the women who came aboard, Tulsi Gabbard, a veteran, an Army officer, again, got some strength energy. We wanted it as a country, obviously. We wanted it. And when the people started turning around and screaming and yelling, oh my God, how bad it is, what did we do? You see it everywhere. We ignored them. The screaming and the yelling, nobody cares. Whatever. You're mad. Keep moving. And I feel bad for that too. Why, Larry? They're screaming and yelling. Just because they ignored us doesn't mean we should ignore them. Does that make sense? Just because they ignored us, and for us toxic masculinity people, that's us, doesn't mean we should ignore them. We have to somehow get this back together. And I think we can. I do think we can. So let me grab a couple questions and some super chats. Peace, Laz. Thank you for the $5, my friend. So what's the root cause of the loss of masculinity? Would you attribute it to the left going too far, woke and gender identity politics? What I would attribute it to is, in general, too much of one gender in many of our institutions. Male-dominated institutions are also not good, but most of our institutions now in America are heavily female-dominated. That's also not good. We've gone too far into feminizing almost everything we have. We feminize our communication, which is basically heavily shaming, right? That's much more feminized, right? We feminize our education system, full of women. Again, women should be teachers, of course, but not 80%. 60, how about? 50, how about? Even 70. They're like 80, 90. It's too feminized. You want to have males. What's the example that men keep having? Only females. You should have examples of males too, right? Diversity works all ways, doesn't it? Right? It works all ways. I think you have gone too far in feminizing most of our institutions. I think that's the issue. And we've also forced feminization. We forced feminization, I'm not joking, into video games. We forced feminization into tech. And you might go, but no, these women, they need a chance. Agreed. But here's what actually happened. And if you're in a tech world, you know this. If you're a tech world and you're a woman, and this may not be as true now because there's been a lot of layoffs, but if I go back about 5 or 10 years, you guys who know what I do, I'm a business coach, I'm a business trainer. I work with companies. If you were a tech woman 5 years ago, give or take, you didn't have to be good at your job. I'm not joking. And if you're in tech, you know what I'm talking about. You didn't have to be, because you were getting recruited every 5 minutes. Why? To fill quotas. Not making this up. To fill quotas. So you could be a decent tech, whatever that tech is. You could be decent at your tech job. And 2 years in, a year in, there's a recruiter calling you up. Hey, can I get you to go to this other place? Well, no, I'm happy here. We'll add 10% of your salary. Really? Yeah. Boom. You're gone. A year later, recruiter calls you up. Can you get you to another place? I'm happy here. No, 20%. Really? Boom. Jump. Now, she's an average tech worker. She's not amazing. She does her job like any other guy, but she's getting paid 40% more. That was happening all over the place. I'm not sure it's happening now. They've been getting rid of a lot of people in tech because of AI and such. But if you go back about 5 years, that was happening constantly. Women could jump, and they weren't bad. They were average tech people, which is great. Good for you, right? But they'd be getting paid 20, 30, 40% more than a guy because they were a woman to fill quotas. Now you might go, well, Larry, that's a good thing, right? No, because she thinks she's better than she is. That's a problem. And the men are pissed off. That's a problem. And now when she gets let go, why she get let go? She's the most expensive one then, and she's as good as all the rest of the guys. So you're as good as the other techs, fine, but you're getting paid 40% more. You're fired. Have you noticed all the women getting fired? Yes, because that kind of stuff was happening. They're just as good as the men, but they're getting paid 40% more. Well, I got to stop firing people. You're gone. Wasn't her fault. She's doing her job. Wasn't her fault. The system started screwing her over. And now, of course, now you have tech men who are pissed off now. And now they're running companies. They don't want to hire women because they're mad. Totally unfair. Totally wrong. It's the old time. So to answer your question, I went down a long road, but that was an issue. We have to fix this issue, right? We have to fix this issue. And it is a problem. It's an issue we have to worry on, and we should fix it. And I do think people, men particularly, join the service is a good idea for those people who need that, right? I needed it. Not everybody. Some people get their rite of passes through other ways, right? Whatever works, as long as you get one, right? Usually it is some type, sadly, tragedy. That's the sad part. It often is tragedy. It doesn't have to be though, but it kind of often is. So yes. Alrighty, let me grab some of these if I could. Kim says, happy birthday. Happy birthday. Thank you so much, Kim. I appreciate that. Yes. Joel says, Arlie, yes, of course, is what everyone thinks of when the drill sergeant. If you notice the picture that I put on the thumbnail, it's him yelling in Full Metal Jacket. Full Metal Jacket wasn't like my boot camp, but it was the closest to my boot camp that a movie's ever shown. That was the closest. That was harsher than my boot camp. My boot camp was not as harsh as that, but that was the closest to my boot camp from that. My drill sergeants were very similar to that. They weren't as aggressive, but very close. That was the closest to my boot camp, was from Full Metal Jacket. Again, not the same, but it was the closest that I'd ever seen. And I remember because most of my leadership when I was in the Marine Corps, my senior leadership, most of my senior leadership were Vietnam veterans. So they understood that completely. And most of my senior leadership was that aggressive. Not all of it, but most of it was very aggressive. We had guys, who had been in Vietnam and had teeth knocked out from fighting the Viet Cong. I mean, crazy stuff like that. But they stayed in, never got out. And I just remember one of my master sergeants, he did 3 tours in Vietnam. You didn't have to. You did 1 tour, you could just go. He went back twice and volunteered. And I asked him, I said, why? Why'd you go back? I'll get you maybe once. Why twice? And it was a very straightforward. If you're not a Marine or not a military guy, you may not get it. But he literally looked at me, he goes, they had killed so many of my friends. He said, I wasn't done killing. That's what he said. And he went hardcore. He went in, he got promoted to sergeant, like corporal. He got promoted to corporal in like 2 weeks. Why? Senior guy, everybody else got killed. So you're a PFC, you come out, all these guys are dead. Okay, you became a corporal, you become a lance corporal now. Go back out a month later. Half the guys are dead or wounded. Come back, all right, well, you're a corporal now. Damn, okay. He got promoted fast because the guys around him kept getting wounded and killed. The guys kept getting sent home. He kept getting promoted. And those guys were his friends. So he wanted payback. I remember that. I remember he wasn't afraid to go back. Was not afraid to go back. He was like, I don't mind, I'll go back again. I don't want to keep my head down. That's what he told me. These are the kind of men that I grew up with in the Marine Corps. This was my leadership. It was leadership of being brave and doing. That's what I grew up in. So I wanted to copy. I wanted to be like all those guys. Of course I did. I wanted to be like those guys. Absolutely. So yes, I hope that, there we go. Adrian, thank you for being a member. Once a Marine, always a Marine. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, 100%. So looking good in uniform, Larry. As Joseph said, thanks to keto. Thanks to keto. That's what I would say. Yes. Thanks to keto. 100%. I do appreciate that tremendously. So yes. If I keep going down here for a couple of these, IC says 3 of my brothers were Navy. My son is Air Force. Yeah, I tease people in the Navy all the time. Right? When I meet sailors, all the time I tease them. I love my sailors. I mean, we worked very well together, close guys, many ships. For those of you who don't know, the Marine Corps cannot have chaplains and cannot have any medics. There are no medics in the Marine Corps and no chaplains in the Marine Corps. Why? Every Marine is a basic rifleman. Every Marine must be able to fight. Everyone. Doesn't matter what you do, you must be able to fight. By Geneva Convention, chaplains don't fight. Medics don't fight. Therefore, there cannot be any Marine Corps medics or any Marine Corps chaplains. So what do? We borrow them from the Navy. So every corpsman you see in the Marine Corps is actually Navy. They're naval corpsmen who come work for the Marine Corps and then go back to the Navy. Every chaplain you see, they're naval chaplains. And they come back, they go back and forth. They get stationed with the Marine Corps for a certain period of time, and they go back because Marines can't have those. So you can't become a Marine Corps medic. That's not a thing. You become a Navy corpsman who then will get assigned with the Marine Corps. So Marines and Navy, we get along. I tease all the time. Whenever I see sales, I go, thanks for the ride. My taxi. Someone's got to take us to war. Thanks for being a taxi. So yeah, tease them all the time. That kind of stuff. It's all good. Joseph says, you knew as a libertarian, even at that young age, there was no such thing as a free lunch. There we go. Yes, there we go. Yes. Joseph then goes on to say, 7 years in a cult. It's kind of true. It's kind of true. It kind of is. Yes. So I do appreciate that. Paul says, happy Veterans Day. Yes, that's tomorrow. I'll be doing a show tomorrow on that too. But today it's the Marine Corps birthday. So I brought all those things up because I did think that there is a desire for all American men to be more masculine. I think it's true without going toxic, but being more masculine. My worry, of course, is the pendulum has swung so far this way that it will then swing the other way too far. That is my concern. I don't want us to all become toxic masculine guys where all we do is yell out women and call women names. I don't want to go there, of course. Or even exclusionary, right? I don't want to go that level either. Not required. But it doesn't mean we have to force it. What does that mean? I'll give you the example of something in tech world. Should there be openings for women in tech world? Of course. Should we be forcing women to join the tech world? No. And that's what we wound up doing. We're trying to force things, right? Here's the reality. Men can be nurses, and there are many male nurses, but there are far more female nurses. Why? Because more women want to be nurses than men want to be nurses, and that's fine. What do I care? What do I care? Can you do your job as a nurse? I don't care if you're a male or a female. Doesn't mind. Should I be mad now? Go, wait a minute. We need to make this 50-50. Got to have 50-50. Got 50% male nurses, 50% female. No. Males can be nurses. Females can be nurses. There are more female nurses. Why? Because more females want to be nurses. Good. If that changes 20 years from now, more men will be nurses. Awesome. If who cares? As long as the barriers are down. The problem is we've been forcing things in. Tech world too. More men want to be techies than women do. They just do. Why are we forcing it? When you begin to force it, you also hurt the women. Think of all those women who got let go in these last 5 years, who are now like, I thought I was going to be working at Google forever, and now I don't have a job. Yeah, because they don't care about quotas anymore. They didn't hire you because you were good or bad. They hired you because it was a quota, and because they had to reach that quota, they paid you a higher salary to make sure you'd stay, because then you get poached if they didn't pay you a higher salary. Now, that sounds horrible, but that's what was happening. I'm telling you the truth, guys. I know this is my world. They were paying higher salaries to women so they wouldn't get poached, so they could fill their quota. It's not the woman's fault. She didn't do anything wrong. She's as good as a tech guy as the next guy. But now I'm in trouble. I got to start firing people. AI comes in. Who am I going to fire? The one who makes the most money. That's the woman. Not her fault. Now she's screwed. So now she has to go back. And here's the worst part. She now has a lifestyle for that high level, whatever that salary they were paying her. That's her lifestyle now. So she's accustomed to that. Hey, I deserve that because I got paid that when I was so-and-so. You get paid that because quota system. They were scared you'd leave. Well, now they don't care for the quota system. You aren't worth that. You're worth what the other guys are worth. You're worth the same as the other guys. Well, you were getting paid 20% more than them. You're taking the 20% pay cut. She don't want to hear that. What does she do? Her pride, and again, not because her. One more point. I'll be very clear. Not her fault. But her pride says, I'm not doing that. So she goes back home and lives back home with her parents. And gets a job doing something else. Because she won't go back to that field at a lower salary. Because she spent that time, 2-3 years. In fact, for a couple years, she was in such demand, she was getting promoted every couple months. They wanted her to leave. Got to fix the quota system. So now she's screwed. Not just that, the men are mad. Because they know she was the same as us. Why is she getting paid so much more? Now they're mad. Now they're going, DEI sucks. See, that's where that comes from. That's where that resentment comes from. Again, not her fault. Not her fault. And now she's screwed. And that kind of thing is what I'm worried about. And I think now you have people who are angry because of that. Anyway, let me keep going down this if I could. All righty. Joel says, yes, we're told Tim Walt's an example of non-toxic masculinity. No thanks. Yeah. Icy says, for some of my community, the choices were military or prison. Now, to be full with you, a lot of people don't like this, but I'm okay with it. I'm okay if a judge would sentence someone voluntarily to the military. I'm okay with it. I know some people don't like it, but I'm okay with it. You can do 5 years in prison, 5 years in the Marine Corps. Which one you want? Whatever. I think a judge should have that ability to set that up. Still should be voluntary. I do not think the judge should sentence him to the military. That would be a disaster. But I have a problem with them giving an option. All right. What do you want to do? Have a guy pick that? I would. One Facebook user says, my husband was an 0352. He still says it was the coolest thing ever. Hold on. 0352. That's a machine gunner? It's infantry. 03 is infantry. I think machine gunner, if I'm not mistaken. I think was that a tow gunner? Could be a tow gunner. One of the two. I can't remember which one it is. But it's a specialty infantry because regular infantry is 0311 that I remember. Or at least was. I don't know if any of these things are still true or not. So yes. All right. Kim says, I stepped up at 8 years old, became a latchkey kid. Got me and my bro up and ready for school, cooked our breakfast, made me packed our lunch. At the school, started cooking supper before mom and pop got home. That was your rite of passage, Kim. Yes. We don't all require boot camp, but we require something. Now you knew at that point. You knew what it was to be responsible. You knew what it was at that point. And that's the big deal. Jacob, I'm tired of the shaming of men for simply being men. My last name is literally a word for a masculine man. Macho, yes. Some stuff is the way it is because it's nature and we can't change it, so people mask it. I agree. I think, and I've mentioned this, one of the reasons why Trump is president, there are many of them, but one of them is America got tired of being shamed. Just tired of it. Just stop shaming me. Just stop. I don't want to hear anymore. You're this, you're that. I don't care. You're that. I'm tired. You've made it to where it doesn't work anymore. It's almost like crying wolf. Everything is a ist. Everything is a phobe. Everybody is, a fascist. Everybody. No. It's just, we're tired of hearing it. And the sad part is many of the people are doubling down. Well, now you're worse. You're right. And the strength of actually strong men, not toxic men, is that they can take it and just go, whatevs, and move on. Just whatevs, and move on. Yes. Mrs. says, I love men being in their masculine energy. Yes, I think many women feel better. Most women, I'll say most women feel better when a man is in masculine energy. Again, not being toxic and mean and nasty, but being masculine in his energy. I think women feel good about it. They like it. Again, it's that 10% who just don't care at all. Some who don't like masculine very well, but the majority absolutely do feel that way. It's absolutely true. The majority do. So IC says, Army went and woke in their ads. They thought that was the right answer. And it is not working at all. The Marines have not gone woke in their ads, and it's working. The Navy has, the Marine Corps is the same. Remember there was a one where Marines were like fighting dragons with swords. Remember that one? They would shoot machine guns, whatever. It was always the aggressive attack. You saw the one they just did. They're shooting in the woods. They're shooting people, jumping out of airplanes and stuff. Yes. That's the thing. Yes. 100%. Facebook says that Army ad looks like a Hallmark commercial compared to the Corps. It's true. Yes. It's absolutely true. Adrian, thank you so much for being a member. My dad said when his younger brother told him he joined the Navy, my dad said he was tougher, so he joined the Marines. That's very good. Nice. I'm tougher than you. I'm joining the Marine Corps. I'm the tough guy. And I thought the same thing. There's a joke for those of you who know about the Marine Corps that many Marines, how it works usually is you go from your hometown and you then go to boot camp. Boot camp is 13 weeks long. It's the longest boot camp. Or when it comes close is believe it or not, Coast Guard. Coast Guard's close. The Marine Corps is 13 weeks long. Then you come back home for like 30 days or so, and you go off to whatever school they're going to send you to. So you go to an infantry school, tanking school, artillery school, whatever. They teach you the actual job you're going to have. So 13 weeks basic training, boot camp, and then that. Well, when you come out of boot camp, you think you can beat everybody up. You think you're the toughest guy in the world. No one can stop you, right? So now every bully who you ever bullied you go back and you go and beat their ass. Yes. Problem is, there's just one of you, and there's often a whole lot of them. So it's very common that when Marines report into school, they got a broken arm, they got a black eye, they got a bloody nose, they got a broken rib. Yeah. So they all report to school, busted up because they went back home thinking they could beat all the bullies up. And don't get me wrong, they were tough guys. They beat them up. But there's a whole lot more of them than there are of the Marine. And he thinks, oh, I'll take on 20. Let's go. And you can't. So, yeah. I remember when I reported to school, 20% of my platoon was somehow bandaged up, whatever, somehow, because they all went home thinking they could beat everybody up. Yeah, you do feel like you can do anything. And that's the point, right? They want you to feel like you can do anything. But they don't say that. The Army said, we can see what you can become. Marine Corps like, no, you will be able to be a machine. You'll be a machine. And you believe it. You do. Particularly when you're 17, 18, 19. I mean, when I got out of boot camp, I was 18 years old. I was like, whatever. Yeah, let's do it. 100%. So happy birthday to the Marine Corps. I left out a 128 crayon box and 2 bottles of Mad Dog. Look at you. You do care. I love that. Yes, you do care. I love that. I see he says, remember the Marlboro Man. The Marlboro Man was another thing that people didn't like. Now, I was smoking, which I get that. But that concept of masculinity is a thing that a lot of people enjoy. They wanted to be like. They cared about that. Yes. So, yes. It's interesting that birth control tends to affect whether women prefer masculine or feminine men. I didn't know that. Is that true? I will look at that. I don't know that to be true. That's interesting. Because it affects hormones, maybe? Maybe. I could see it. I could see it. So most Marines I know have been obsessed with the Marine Corps since they were kids. It draws a certain kind of person, I think. I wasn't. I mean, I liked the Marine Corps when I was a kid, but I was drawn to the Army. My father was in the Army. Even on my mother's side, they were all Army. Not the American Army, though, but they were all Army. So, yeah. So anyway, they were all Army. So I thought I was going to join the Army. I wasn't. It was when he said that turned me. I would have been a soldier. He said Marine. That's what I would have been. But yeah, I do think it was a calling for me in that regard. I do think it was. Absolutely. So Kim says, I'm seeing more and more people are about what's in it for me. That's true also. I think that's also true. And generally speaking, when you join the military, you have to have good teamwork, right? You have to. One of the things that's good about veterans, and there are many veterans in the libertarian movement, many of them. And one thing that could be good about it is, look, when I have my platoon, I was a platoon sergeant for a while. That's who I have. I don't get to recruit other people. I have my platoon. And then I have an objective to take. I have to take it with what I got. Well, I don't like a guy. Too bad. I don't want a guy. Too bad. We're doing it. That's what we got. That's the piece that I think that the military in general provides for you. You have a mission. You have people. Make it happen. The machine gun's broken. Got it. Take the hill. The captain shot. Understood. Take the hill. I just lost 3 men. I got it. Take the hill. What are you doing? Take the hill. Why are you talking to me? Take the hill. Stop talking. Take the hill. That's it. And it's another way of thinking, right? That is really interesting. So, yes. Joseph says, this is an interesting one here. He says, Callie and Casey Means pointed out that we are in a chemically and hormonally heavy estrogen environment. It could be that. Yeah, it could be. I don't know enough about it before, Joseph, but it wouldn't shock me if it were true, right? We are messing with our hormones constantly. We are putting hormones in our food constantly. One of the reasons why I eat the way I eat and what I do is a lot of people don't think the way I think, and that's fine, but I'll give you my opinion on this one. Some people spend money on clothes. Clearly, I don't. I wear the same damn shirts all the time. So clearly, I don't. But some people spend money on clothes. Some people spend money on a fancy apartment or a big house or a fancy car. And you spend your money whatever you want. My money will always go on food. And I don't mean expensive food, meaning like, I go to a restaurant. I rarely eat out. I mean, if my daughter isn't around, and she doesn't eat out that much either, I never eat out. Like I never eat. I eat out because I'm like going to a business meeting. Otherwise, I never eat out. Never. I eat the same stuff every day. I eat only grass-fed organic to the best of my ability. I eat from different farms to the best of my ability. And I spend money. That's expensive. That's not cheap. But I don't have fancy clothes. So I wear this shit. So I'm not spending money on my clothes. I'll spend it on food. I think what goes into my food matters tremendously. I don't want to have chemicals and hormones in my body at all. I try to avoid that stuff to the best of my ability. You can't always. You can't always. And you probably shouldn't. There probably should be some poison. I'm just keep your system going, I guess. Probably should be some. But my point is, that's where I put my cash. I put my cash into that. That is what I feel is important. No judgment on you. You bought a car if you want to buy a car, nice house, you want a nice house. You do you, your money, enjoy. My choice is I put a lot of money into that than anything else. I tend to try to get the highest quality food I possibly can. And that sometimes I have to order it special. Sometimes I have to go to different places. It costs me more money. My groceries are expensive, but you don't see me buying fancy clothes. You don't see me buying fancy watches. You don't see me buying fancy jewelry. I don't do that. I don't have a fancy car. Not important to me. Again, no judgment. You spend your money where you see it. That's where because I agree with them. I think I have to make sure that I'm like that. And I try to instill it into my daughters too. They don't always listen, but I do try. So the broken family is the root cause. Kids need mothers and fathers 24/7. I cannot agree with you more, my friend. I can't agree with you more. Yes, absolutely. Yes. Kim says, what a way to unify this country. So many different cultures, men and women came together and made their voices heard loud and clear. This is powerful. Agreed, right? One of the things that most people like about men is that being masculine is being decisive and standing up. It's a big deal. It's a big deal for many people. So, Garrett, thank you again for gifting a membership. Appreciate that, guys. While we're on that piece, if you want, guys, click the button known as like. It does matter. Every time you touch that button, now people are going, oh, this must be good. I would like, and then YouTube goes, I should let other people see this. Facebook goes, I should let other people see this. Twitter goes, I should let other people see this. And they're right. Other people should see this. So do that. Share it if you can on Twitter or Facebook. Repost it, reshare it, whatever the case may be. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Every subscriber matters. It means more people to see this again and again and again. If you already subscribed once, check to make sure you still have, because YouTube will decide you're a bot randomly and unsubscribe you. I hit notifications. YouTube will decide randomly you're a bot. No more notifications. So please put both of those. Click both of those in. It does matter. Please do so. If you want to super chat me, I love super chats. And then, of course, Garrett, become a member. Membership matters. The more membership comes, I can do more of this. And I've been trying my damnedest, if you notice. I've done shows for like 7-8 days straight now. It looks like about 10 days straight. It's a lot of damn shows. So I'm trying to prep, keep things going, and share to the best of my ability. As you see, I try to share things, right? I do try to share things. So yes. All righty. Grab some more if I can. The military can run. Let me bring this piece up, Jacob, because you brought it. This goes back to what Kim was talking about too. Right now, America's sick. This is the last piece I want to bring up. America's sick. Most of our youth, more than 50%, isn't eligible for the military because of health reasons. Think about that. They're either too big, have too many chronic issues, or mental issues. They're not eligible. Now, let me be very clear on this piece. They're not eligible, yet the Marine Corps still makes its numbers. They didn't lower the numbers for the Marine Corps. Same numbers. The Marine Corps makes it. It means those that are eligible want to be men. Or I shouldn't say that. I mean, it's heavily male, but want a rite of passage. How about that? They want a rite of passage. They want it. They want a rite of passage. So I've got one chunk of young people who are so broken, either physically or mentally or both, that they are not eligible to be in the military. How can we save our country? It's a serious question. How broken are our youth? So yeah, no wonder Make America Healthy Again lands. No wonder MAHA lands. No wonder people like the idea of MAHA. No wonder they do. I have most of my youth that is unavailable to join the military because they're so broken, either physically or mentally, or both. And those that join are rushing to the Marine Corps. Not to the other. They're losing their numbers by tens of thousands of recruits. The Army is at its lowest level since pre-World War II. Let me say it again. The Army is at its lowest level since pre-World War II, 1940. That's the numbers it's at now. Yeah, that's the Army. That's how bad it is. To your point, Jacob, the military can run. Well, most of our youth Can't. They can't. They're not there. They can't do it. Yeah. Arlie Army said, he said that when he was drill instructor to Vietnam, they were that tough because they cut training times. They wanted to impart, but they needed quickly, including how tough war was. Yes, they were extra hard. That's true. Yeah, they were extra hard. Absolutely. Jacob goes on to say, the military can turn someone into a better person than they were. It can also turn a good person into a monster. Agreed. No, you are correct. Agreed. I think a Full Metal Jacket showed that. Absolutely true. It can do both. It can do both. You're absolutely correct. Look, I'll go back to this piece again. Our children are broken, mentally and or physically. We have to fix this. And I think this is an example. I brought this up. This is an example. We can't make it, but there's a third piece to this too. There's a third piece to this too. And this part that people don't want to talk about. And I'm going to bring this up too. Our system is so broken. One of the reasons why people aren't joining the military is veterans are coming back and telling them not to. Yes, they're saying don't do it. Particularly with things that's going on overseas now, the Gaza war, Ukraine war. And what are they doing? Vets are coming back now saying, don't join. Why? So you can go save Ukraine? So you can go save Gaza? So you can go fight against the Russians or fight against whoever they're going to fight, whatever. So you can save some other country, save Israel, whatever. Like, don't do that. You're not saving America. I'm not joking. Do your homework. You will see that. That's a thing. There are veterans literally doing videos on it, talking about it. They're saying, don't join. This is not about America anymore. We're not doing it. This is the stuff libertarians have been saying for years. For years. That we're not fighting wars to save America anymore. We're fighting wars to save somebody else or to keep the military-industrial complex going. And then when you come back, we say, thank you for your service, but then don't support them at all. And have no money to support the veterans, but got money to give to Israel or money to give to Ukraine or insert country here, money to give to Egypt, whatever. The money for that all day long, money to give to migrants, whatever. You pick the group that you don't like or you're mad about. It's not veterans. They're not getting it. They're not getting it. That's a secondary piece. People telling them, don't do it. Don't do it. There's a third piece that's even tougher than this. There is a lack of national pride. Now, I think this is the reason why America First lands. America First and Make America Great Again does have negative connotations. Of course it does. Of course it does. That's negative connotations. So you may go, wait a minute, Larry, if it says negative connotations, why did it land? Because people want to be proud of the country. That's why. The average person wants to be proud of their country. Some people don't. Okay, not everybody. Most people, I don't want the all police to come at me because like the all police, not everybody, shut up. But anyway, I'm stopping the all police up front. Right. Some people hate the country. I got it. The majority of people, the vast majority, want to feel proud about their country. Of course I do. Of course. I have an American flag right here. Of course I do. Right? Of course I do. So when someone says America First, I go, yeah, that sounds pretty good to me. America First, let's do that. Why are we doing whatever? Other country first. No. Let's do America first. Other countries do other countries first. I'm not mad at them. You know, people get mad at Zelensky from Ukraine. I'm not mad at him. He's getting as much money as he can for his country. Good for him. We should be saying, no, that's our fault. That's not his. He's doing what's right for his country. Give me all your money. Okay, I get it. If I was him, I'd be begging us some money too. Not mad at him for that. We're the idiots giving him all the money. We say no. Ask the Germans for money. Don't ask us for money. We're done. But I'm not mad at him. If I was Ukrainian, I'd be like, go, get more money. Let's get it all. Take all America's money. Of course. I get it. He's supposed to care about his country. He's the president of the country. He's supposed to give you all the money. Take it. We're the ones who are giving it to him. It's our fault. So all those things together, now we have problems. Those are issues. So yes. Peace Lodge, thank you for the $2, my friend. RFK is also a nice representative of masculinity. I agree. He's able to be forward, go up against the system, which is great. He's smart, but he still has empathy, physical good shape, right? Yes, I agree. He represents it nicely. I agree. It's a good representation, right? He's physically in good shape. He tries to fight the good fight. He tries to defend the people who are in trouble. He goes up against the system, and he shows empathy. I agree. It's another good one. Men shouldn't just be strong. They should be strong, but they should also have empathy, right? They should do that. Absolutely. So Kim says, why so many ads in this live show? I never get ads in a live show. Lots of them. Oh, I didn't even notice. There's ads in the show? I don't see any of them. So I don't know when the ads pop up. I apologize. Yeah, maybe because I'm getting so many views now. Maybe YouTube's like, oh, we'll give you ads now because you have views, which is a good thing. It's a good problem to have, but yeah, maybe bad. Yeah. Jacob says, if Larry gets paid, I'm okay with it. There we go. See, maybe I'm getting paid. Maybe I'll get paid. Maybe I'll stop. Maybe I'll stop losing money on this show. That will be nice. Maybe I'll stop losing money. That will be nice because I lose money on the show every month. But that's fine. Maybe I'll lose it. Yes. So, all righty. Missy says, after hearing there are many ads, Larry has no control of where they are and when they play. You visit himself. We know it sucks, but it's part of being monetized. There we go. Maybe it is. That's probably what it is. There we go. So Jacob says, YouTube really egging us to buy the. That's okay, guys. That's what it is. YouTube wants you to become a premium one. So they're begging you to become premium. So, hey, you don't need these ads anymore. Pay to so-and-so dollars per month or whatever. That's what it is. But don't do that. Instead, click the join button and pay me the $4.99. Instead, do that. Click the join button, become a member. That's the way you do it. See, become a member, and it's even better. You've helped everybody out that way. Do that instead. So don't do the YouTube thing. Do the click the join thing. That's better. Thank you for super chats also, as always. But this is the free part. Share this everywhere you possibly can. If you're watching it on X or Facebook, share it. If you're watching on YouTube, you can share it to X or Facebook. Watching on X, you can share it to YouTube. You can swap them back and forth if you want to. All good. But no matter what, click the button known as like. That part, no matter what you do. And it's free. It doesn't matter at all. Yes. Joseph says, you said it best, Larry, power and warmth. The proper balance is most charismatic. Yes, 100%. And that's what makes people the most charismatic, right? One of the people who was really good at it was Bill Clinton. He'd be very forward and aggressive. He'd use his thumb like this, and he'd be like, I feel your pain. I feel your pain. He was very good at projecting both of them. He's a very charismatic guy. Absolutely. He does both of them. Yes. All righty. Let me see if I can grab this. Grace says 0352 in infantry. No, I know he was infantry, right? 03 is infantry, but he was a specific type of infantry. And I think 0352, I think a machine gunner is 0341, and 0351 I think was a tow gunner. Now I'm gonna look. Now you're making me think. Hold on. Marine MOS 0352. Find out right now. Yeah, tow gunner and a tank gunner. I was right. 0352 is an anti-tank missile gunner, which is a tow gunner. Yes, that's what he was. He was anti-tank. He was an anti-tank crew. That's what he was. I was right. 0341, I think, is a machine gunner. So there we go. There we go. All right. Let's see here. P says, thank you for the $5. Did you notice that flying the American flag was in his being a Republican, not a Democrat? How did that happen? Yes. In fact, I had a friend of mine named Jeff. Love Jeff. I got to call him. I've talked to him in a while. Jeff told me that. He was like, Larry, you think these people, there aren't many Trump supporters? I said, I don't see many signs. He goes, no. He goes, every time you see the American flag, Trump supporter. I said, what? He said, yeah, come up here. They're kind of scared sometimes. He's in upstate New York. Like sometimes they're scared, to put out the Trump stuff. So they put an American flag. We know, Trump supporter. Damn. So I heard that years ago from Jeff. I didn't believe him, but maybe Jeff was right. But again, this goes back to the same thing. We've gone too far, right? We've gone to a point where you're supposed to hate America while you're American. Our idea of nationalism is now a bad thing. I've never thought of it as a bad thing. Literally, I have a flag on my show every single day, right? I mean, most of the time if I wear a slow sleeve shirt, you can see my tattoo that says I'm a Marine. So I've never thought nationalism was a bad idea, right? Now, jingoism could be bad. Imperialism is bad. But nationalism, I mean, most people are proud of their countries, and you probably should be. And you should do what you can to make your country better. Of course, I can still criticize my country, right? I can still criticize my government, of course. I don't love it. So I think you're right. It has become that. The idea is what has happened this goes back to feminizing education. One of the key points of feminizing education is the big guy is wrong. Do the right thing help the little guy? Well, if that's your mindset on everything, when Israel invades Gaza, by default, Israel's wrong. They're the big guy. When Russia invades Ukraine, by default, Russia's wrong. The little guy. The history does not matter. Nothing matters except big guy, little guy. That's how it works. When America does anything, America's the biggest guy on the entire planet. When America does anything, America's wrong. It's the big guy. When that becomes your simple idea of the world, your worldview is big guy is wrong. Now, sometimes big guy is wrong, right? I'm not saying big guy isn't wrong, but big guy is wrong because of what happened, not because he's the big guy. But if that's your worldview, easy. Russia, wrong. Why? Big guy. What about history? Nope. Israel, wrong. Why? Big guy. History. No. America, wrong. History. No. Big guy. Wrong. Done. Life is easy when that happens. And I think that's what wound up happening. America's the big guy, where therefore America's wrong in everything. Well, if America's wrong in everything, why would I care about America? It's always wrong. American flag is bad. I know that sounds simplistic, but it actually is true. It's a real thing. The world becomes oppressive versus oppressed, which is based upon who is larger and has more physical power. So yeah, it's a big issue. I think you've hit it correctly. It has happened. So yes. Lady loved you. Everything's out of balance. We need both for balance. Yes. She also says, my husband's very masculine and I love it. Most women do. Again, most women do. Yes. Kim says, the video I emailed you touches this subject in a way. Did you see it? I did. I responded to you, Kim. I did. I already knew about this. I've been talking about this literally for years. I actually picked up this issue in 2018 and stood behind it. And maybe I'll do a show about it again. I've been on other shows about it. Like I've talked about other shows. It's an issue that I knew about very much. And Kim talked about the idea of issue of family court and stuff like that. For those of you who know me, I've been a family court father's rights advocate for 6 years. Right? I've had, for those of you who don't know about this piece, this is a piece that has helped to destroy men, which is family courts. And I know people say all the time, it's not worse against men. It absolutely is. If you say it isn't worse against men, don't get me wrong, it also attacks women too. Don't get me wrong. It's not like it's only men. It is skewed heavily towards men, beating up men. It's just a fact. If you don't like it, I don't know what to tell you. The data is in, has been in forever. And it's not because women bad. Again, not the woman's fault. This is literally systemic from the top. There are laws that ensure, that assist and encourage judges to crush men. I'm not joking. I'll maybe do a video on that. Maybe do a whole show on this. It's absolutely accurate. It is not because women bad. Again, I'm not blaming a tech woman who gets screwed over. It's not her fault. I'm not blaming the mom who gets screwed over. It's not her fault. It is the system's fault that ensures that this happens consistently. It's been changing a little bit now because it's based upon cash. And as women make more money, now the system's shifting a bit. Now women are starting to get hit. And now women are starting going, wait a minute, this system sucks. Yeah, it does. Because the system is not about the kids, not about the family. It's about cash and cash only. That's what it's about. You know what? I'm doing a show. Kim, I'm doing a show on it. I am. Another show I can do on. You guys can kill me. I don't like shows I got to do. Okay, I'll do a show on this one too. But yes, the system is made to right now destroy men, and it does. It punishes men horribly. It breaks them so that they can't be strong. And the worst part is, it's a point to where the kids watch their fathers become emasculated. And when you're a boy and you watch your father become emasculated, how do you act? And when you're a girl and you watch your father become emasculated, how do you act? And when you're a mom who emasculated and had the system emasculate the man who she used to love, how does she find another man? Everybody suffers from this system. And when you're a man who's been emasculated by a system and a woman, how do you trust women? And you wonder why so many men check out and so many women are unhappy. So many kids are broken. Well, there we go. Family court system is a part of that entire system. Kim, you're exactly correct. I knew it already. I'll do a show on the whole thing. You're right. But again, this is systemic from the top all the way down. It is systemic. So yes. So anyway, thank you for that. I did see it. I did respond to you. All righty. Matt, thank you for being a member. I forgot who said it. Maybe someone on Rogan, but outside of unfit Americans because of health, people aren't joining because we're not defending America anymore. We fight dumb neocon. Yeah, thank you, Matt. That was what I was talking about. That's another piece I brought up, right? the idea that we're saying, I'm not fighting to defend America. I'm fighting to defend some other country or to keep the military-industrial complex going. I don't want that, right? I don't want that. Yes. So, all right. Lunatic Libertarian says the Marine Corps is under the Department of the Navy. Yes, it is not separate. Yes, the Air Force used to be. The Air Force used to be the Army Air Corps. So it was the Army had the Air Force and the Navy had the Marines. That's how it used to be. But in 1949, they split the Air Force off separately. The Marine Corps still stayed with the Navy. It's correct. In fact, if you ever see me walk around with my jacket every day when I wear a jacket, you'll see a little pin that I keep. I don't wear an American flag. I wear a pin. And the pin is my Navy Achievement Medal. I won 2 of them when I was in the Marine Corps. And I keep the one there. It's a Navy Achievement Medal. Why? Because the medals are underneath the Navy. So yes, that's what I wear all the time. Again, every day I'm out, I'm still Marine all the single time. Yes. Studies show that Republicans tend to have more testosterone. Is that right? But libertarians, maybe we got more testosterone too. I don't know. Maybe, who knows? She then goes on to say Navy SEALs are bad. Yes, but I'm just wondering who trains Navy SEALs? Oh, right, Marines. Just saying. Yeah, 100%. Joseph says 100%. We spend the majority of our money on healthy organic food. Me too, brother. You and I are on the same page. Yes, absolutely, same thing. That's where my cash goes. Again, no judgment. If you guys want to buy, your money, you bought it, you earned it. You buy what you got to buy. That's just my view. So yes. Kim says, I believe something in our food or medicine or environment is playing a big part in gender identity crisis. I have heard that more than once. I should do some homework on that, Kim, because I have heard that. I don't know if it's true, but I've heard that. And that was that joke that, well, I guess it wasn't a joke, really. That, oh, God. Oh, what's his name again? Now I've forgotten his name. I should. He said the frogs are turning gay. Alex Jones. There we go, Alex Jones. He said the frogs turning gay, the water turning the frogs gay. Remember that? That was based on some study that like showed some kind of water. I don't remember details, but something like that. So I have heard that story before. More than once, maybe I'm going to spend some time on that one. You give me too many ideas, Kim. Come on. I'm only one person. How many shows am I do? We have me doing two. You have me doing 2 shows a day. You keep this going on. All right. Yes. There we go. Matt says, if I could ever buy a house, damn right, I'd turn the whole backyard into a garden. Yes. Smart move. Joseph goes on to say, you are what you eat. 100% yes. I agree. Yes. Grace says, we are showing up as Facebook user on Facebook. Are you that shut up on Facebook? Yes. I've been telling you this all the time. Think about this. I have almost 40,000 people who are subscribed to my YouTube channel. On my YouTube channel, I get 1,000 views. Somebody's only 500. How's that possible? How's that possible? Because I'm horribly shadow banned. This is why you hear me every 20 or 30 minutes beg you to click the like button, beg you to share this, beg you to reshare it, repost it, because it's the only way I can break the Gore rhythm. And when did I get shadow banned? I got shadow banned. Obviously, it's clear if you look at my numbers in 2020, when I started talking about how the mandates were wrong. I didn't even say the stick was bad. I didn't even say that. I just said the mandate was wrong. That's all I said. My views went from 5,000 to 500 overnight. And it's never come back up. I used to get 5,000 views and I had less subscribers every video. Every video, 5,000 views. Went to 500. 90% drop overnight when I just started saying the mandates were wrong. And it never left. And I've actually wrote them saying, and they tell me I'm not banned, I'm not shadow banned. I don't know how. But yes, you are correct. I am horribly shadow banned. Facebook too. Yes. Why do you think I have 2? Why do you think I have 2 YouTubes? Because the Sharpe way one's not shadow banned. Because that one came out after. That was too small. That was my backup. When I saw myself getting my ass kicked on Larry Sharpe, I made Larry Sharpe way to see in case they shut me down completely. That's why I made the second one, because I saw I was getting my butt kicked. So I thought maybe they're going to shut me down. I need to back up. So I made a backup. Well, they have a shadow ban to backup. So if you look at Larry Sharpe, Sharpe will sometimes have more views than the other. It has 10% of the subscribers. Sharpe has 10% of the subscribers of Larry Sharpe, but often gets more views. Larry, you're not shadow banned. Come on. Clearly I'm shadow banned. So this is why I keep bugging you. You're exactly correct. It's obvious. Same thing on Facebook, which is why I have two Facebooks. I have a Sharpe Facebook and a Larry Sharpe Facebook. Why? Same thing happened. When it happened, I got scared. I made a backup in case it got trashed. They shadow banned one, not the other. That's it. Because it's all done by algorithms. So they think, oh, that's a little, doesn't matter. They didn't bother. But Larry Sharpe was kicking it. They couldn't get rid of me because I was running for office. I wish they just got rid of me. To be forward, I wish they just banned me. I was running for office. They're like, we can't really get rid of this guy. He's running for office. So we can't get rid of him. So yes. There we go. Anyway, I hope I answered your question at least. So yeah. Yeah, maybe it's the toxic masculinity piece. I'll talk about that. Yeah, I have been doing a little bit more. Like as I talk about more stuff that's iffy, I get a little bit more of that stuff. Absolutely. I do get more of that, 100%. So yeah. Matt goes on to say, not to mention vets get treated like crap, but the government have to do all the dirty work. 100% true. And I'll give you an interesting story. I've supported vets many times. And one of the things I do is I would help them with their transitioning from military into getting a job, help them out with resume building, networking, interviewing skills, things like that, right? First place I went to was the VA. The VA said, okay, yeah, here's what I'll do. Here, follow this rubric of stuff and teach them this. I would know that rubric is garbage, has no value. They would, no, you have to teach the rubric. I said, no, you don't understand. This doesn't matter. This was like 2012, 14 in that area. And they were like, no, this is the rubric. I said, you're talking about the kind of paper their resume is on. It is irrelevant. This is not what you need to know. No, you have to. I said, I'm not gonna. They said, we can't work with us. I said, okay, done. Stop working with them. And I wasn't charging them. This was free. Taking my time, my energy, that people paid me thousands of dollars in law firms and banks and tech companies. I was giving it to the VA for free. You tell me when to show up, I'll show up and do it for free. No. I had to follow. I said, I'm done. I wouldn't work with the VA. That's how bad it was. So I had to go to Yellow Ribbon. I go to places like that. I say, hey, I want to come train. Like when I have a budget. No, it's free. Tell me when to be there. I'll be there. Can you be in Boston on whatever, the 3rd? Yeah, I'll get up to my own. You're not going to pay. I'll get up. I'll give them the whole day. They're like, wow, yes. Didn't ask what I was teaching. Knew I was a professional. Knew it was my job. I was training. I was a trainer. They knew who I was. I'll give it to them for free, not charge them a thing, and pay for my own way up and back. Yes, and my own hotel there. Yes, I'll do it. My brothers. Of course I would. So I do it. I had to work for nonprofits. VA wouldn't take free training from a professional who gets paid thousands of dollars to train. Wouldn't take it. Nonprofit? Yes, please. Will you come at this time? Yes. Don't pay. I don't want anything. I'll come and do it. And here's an interesting story on top of this. And some of you vets will get this. This goes back to the manly piece. Often, these guys who come back, particularly combat vets, they come back. They don't want to ask for help because they're badasses. They just came out of combat. They're not wrong. They are badasses. They just came out of combat. They're not wrong. And some of these units that I would have to train, they'd be reserve units, which is even worse because they have jobs here. So they lose their jobs. They go away for 12 months, whatever it is. Some as long as 15, but usually around between 9 and 12 was the norm. But at longest is 15. Then they come back and they have transition classes. I remember one time I go up and no one comes to my class. Nobody. My class is on networking. No one comes to my class. Not one person. So I go to the first sergeant. I say, First Sergeant, you get you guys to come. You have to. I know. Got these guys going to be in trouble. Let's talk to the people at the charity. We go to the charity. Talk to the charity woman there, who runs with the charity. I said, you have to make this mandatory. She goes, oh, no. I can't make it mandatory. I said, you have to. She's like, you can't. So you don't understand something. He's a veteran. He's okay. I told her, you have to understand this. These men want to come, but they won't because they don't want to ask for help. Their pride is stopping them. They must be ordered so they can say, well, I didn't want to come here, but I got ordered. That gives them excuse to show up. She goes, I can't do that. first started jumping out of his skin. These guys are going, and he was exaggerating, but it was something he had heard of. He's like, these guys are going to be committing suicide in 9 months, and I'm going to have to see it and talk to their wives. He was screaming and yelling about this, all this, and she's like, what am I going to do? So he went to the captain. He said, Captain, you order them. The captain heard it, said, order them all to show. They all showed up, happy as can be, taking notes, joining in the class, going back and forth, telling stories. Amazing. Now, the average civilian doesn't get that. The average civilian says, Larry, how can you be so authoritarian? That wasn't what it was. They wanted to be there. These were badasses who couldn't admit they needed help. Ordering them gave them an excuse to say, okay, I'm a tough, I don't need this, but, the captain said, so I got to come. And that's how you have to understand veterans sometimes. And the civilians didn't know. VA would have never let me do that. But in this case, the captain was like, yes, he just ordered his men to be there. And they all showed up. And they were happy as can be. It's a problem we have with veterans. And I'll go one more step. A little off topic, but I think you guys enjoy the story. One of the things I do when I'm training veterans is success stories. When you're in an interview, right? Many, particularly if they were very young, 17, 18 when they joined, they have no other experience. So they're coming out and they have to be an interview. They don't know how to do an interview. They have no idea. I remember one person, I'm doing a mock interview with others, and the first thing out of the vet's mouth, so tell me about you, whatever. Well, my first firefight, I'm like, no, stop. Like what? Well, of course they're proud of what they did in the firefight. Of course they are. I get it. But you can't tell a 25-year-old HR rep who doesn't know anything about that you were in a firefight. You can't lead with that. That's not a good lead. You lead with that. She says, you don't belong here. You don't belong here. You're not getting the job. You can't do that. I had to express that. No. It's not how you start. If they ask about your experience, you can say, but you don't lead with combat. Ever. Not some 25-year-old HR rep. She has no idea what you're talking about, right? Don't do that. So I'd express that. But I go one step further. A lot of these vets, to your point, Matt, they get treated terribly and don't even ask anything in return. One of the things to do is talk about a success story. And I teach them how to come up with one, to talk about one, whatever. And often I'll go through the actual people within class and I sort of pull one out. And it is so hard to pull out from vets. Because so many veterans just think, that's part of my job. So I did it. It wasn't successful. That's what I did. So finally, I'm going back and pulling teeth out of these guys. One guy finally says, well, yeah, I saved the guy's life once. I'm like, you saved the guy's life. And guess what this guy wanted to be? He wanted to be a security guard. I'm not joking. It's like I could make it up. It's dead truth. The guy wanted to be a security guard. Do you think, Matt, if you were a hiring manager for a company that had security guards, that the fact that the guy in front of you had literally saved someone's life already would kind of be an important story you would like to know for your freaking security guard? Would kind of match. Oh, okay, yeah. You want to be a security guard? You've already saved someone's life. I think we're good here. That's how tough it was. I'm like, didn't you think it was? He goes, no, I was doing my job, man. I was doing my job. He was a sailor, doing his job. I'm like, yes, but civilians generally don't save people's lives. So telling that story is probably going to go over really well when you're trying to become a security guard. Another guy had Overwatch, he's a Marine. He was a Overwatch. My security guard. He was Overwatch. 6-month tour, 0 problems. 0. Not one IED, not one casualty. 6 months, 100%. 100%. He's like, yeah, you're not going to tell that story. Well, I'm doing my job. How many civilians can say they had 100% anything? Yours is life and death. Watching IEDs explode on patrol. Your term, 6 months, 0 casualties. Guys don't tell stories. Anyway, I went way off topic, but anyway. Let me keep going on. Grace says, this sounds mean, but fat kids with type 2 diabetes and asthma who can't do a push-up cannot fight a war. Yes, but why are there so many fat kids with type 2 diabetes and asthma who can't do a push-up? You're correct. We're doing something wrong, Grace. We're doing something wrong. Yes? Kim goes on to say, the way our veterans are treated, I would never encourage my kids to join. Yes, it's a big deal. Joseph goes on to say, so many vets I know have brutally bad experience with VA healthcare. Yes, VA does one thing very well. Very well. Put you into school. If you want to go to college, VA is amazing. I mean, really amazing. Otherwise, they don't always do as good as they could, is what I'm saying. So, yes. So, Robert says, not saying it's the only factor, but I think a large contributing factor to why armed services membership is down is because people don't believe in the reasons America goes to war. Yep. Yes. 100%. Yes. All right. Let's see here. Jacob says, Larry's describing my situation to a T. Spot on every point. I'm now 20 and I'm finally feeling heard. Yes. I love that. Thank you for that, my friend. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that. Yes, absolutely. So Kim says, Democrats fly the rainbow flag. You know what? I don't mind the rainbow flag. I mind when it replaces the American flag. That's what I mind. Right? If you notice, I have two flags here. My American flag is not replaced by the German flag. In fact, it's on top of the German flag. Now, if I was flying a German flag and no American flag, wouldn't that be odd? So if you want to have a rainbow flag, awesome. Where's your American flag? That's my opinion. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't want any laws against it. You want to fly a rainbow flag, do what you want. No worry. Do as you feel. But my opinion is, this is what I do, right? I am proud of my German heritage, but I'm an American first. And I show it as such. Just my opinion. You do as you say, as you feel. Grace, Larry, you and I are the same age. Do you remember how the anti-Reagan crowd hated patriot? Yes, but yes, but, and let me give a yes, but. They believed that Reagan took it too far. They didn't believe America was bad back then. In fact, the Democrats of the late 70s, early 80s were much more about freedom, much more about anti-censorship. Remember the Republicans of the late 70s? It's a whole different party. Republicans of the late 70s were like trying to shut down, nudie magazines. Remember? They were all about censorship. You go to the late 70s, early 80s, Republicans were the censors. Now it's exactly the reverse. So I think, yes, you're right, but they think he took it too far. The Democrats of the late 70s or early 80s were still pro-American. They thought Reagan's type of Americanism was the wrong type of Americanism, but they still liked America. Now they don't like America. You didn't see you saw some of the hardcore Dems, like, they weren't even Dems now. They're probably just socialists, wearing like their Shea shirts and stuff. But now, like, all of them do. It's a real different type, So yeah. Grace goes on to say, teaching has become so feminized that teachers often can't teach math. I learned this when I was an education major from a female professor. It's an issue. Men aren't joining because they don't. Men aren't joining the education field because they don't feel welcome at all. And they get in trouble always get in trouble, right? You can't say anything that might make someone offended. You can't say that men are good or in any way, shape, or form. That's why men go to private schools, because you can say what you want in private school, right? That's why you go to private schools. You don't see it in public school. Why would you? You're putting yourself into a spot where you're just going to get in trouble. So why bother doing it? And kids, boys, don't keep going to school. They get out of school. They're terrible. You see, there's some places here in New York State where the truancy rate's 50%. It's mostly boys. They don't go to school. Why bother? Nothing there for them. I don't blame them. There's nothing there for them. Doesn't matter at all. Nothing there for them. I wouldn't have finished high school back in the 80s. I wouldn't have finished it, except the Marine Corps recruiter said, if you want a job guarantee, you have to finish high school. So I finished high school. I would have just left high school and joined the Marine Corps, because you can at 17. You can just leave and go. He said, no, you should finish high school and go. So I did. But I get it. When you don't feel like people care about you, when you don't feel good about yourself when you're with people, why would you keep showing up? At one point, you go, I'm not going anymore. I'm done. I don't care. I just don't care. I'm tired of being attacked. I'm tired of being scolded. I'm tired of being told that I'm garbage. Fine. I'm not showing up anymore. Fine. I'm going away. I'm done with it. I'm just not putting up with it anymore. I don't care. It goes back to what I've said 1,000 times, and Bill Maher said it years ago and doesn't listen to his own words. I tell the story before. I'll tell it again. Bill Maher is on his show with two people who are Democrats. And this is a couple years back. And he's like, and the women are like, two women, I don't understand why these stupid Republicans don't vote for it for their own, good. They should be voting for us and blah, blah, blah. And he goes, you don't understand? Like, no. He said, because they hate you. That's what he said. Because they hate you. That's the reason. They're not going to vote for you. Why? They hate you. And they hate you because you hate them. That's not good. But if I think the school system hates me, I'm not going to the school system. I hate them. I don't care. We won't graduate. I don't care. They hate me. I won't graduate then. They hate me. I'm not going back. And a lot of kids think that. I'm not going back. Who cares? So Facebook users agreed. The left thinks Israel has no right to defend itself because it's stronger than Hamas. Correct. Accurate statement. Correct. It doesn't matter. History is irrelevant. People go, but what about this? Doesn't matter. Black and white. That's how it works. The manosphere has been growing to build up men. They helped in Trump's victory. Yes and no. What I mean by that, the manosphere has parts in it that are very toxic. And some people don't like to hear that because people love the manosphere. And I get it, but I'm just being very forward. There are parts of it that are very toxic. The parts that say, men, grow up, get better, fix yourself. You don't need to have a woman if you don't need to right now. You don't need to have this. Focus on your purpose, get better. Those are very good. Those that go, all women suck. That's the problem I have. So take away the all women suck part. And I agree, right? Because if you look at most, and this is again, goes to masculine versus feminine. If you look at feminine content heavily by women, when they have problems or issues, it's basically a support structure. It is you'll be okay, you're a queen, you're a goddess, you deserve better, keep going, you'll be all right. That's what most feminine content in that regard is. What's male feminine content? You're a loser. What's wrong with you? Get a better job. Get in the gym. What's wrong with you? Of course you don't have a girlfriend. Look at you. Of course you don't have it. What's wrong with you? You didn't make any money. That's because you broke. Now you might go, that sounds horrible. No. Men need to hear that shit. Men need to hear that. Women need to hear that too. Women don't want to hear that. We all need to hear that. So we all need to hear that because often it's true. But women don't want to hear that. And how do I know that's true? I don't mean to be mean. You women, I don't mean to be mean. But it's a different idea of feminizing versus masculine. You're seeing it right now with female therapists and female personal coaches and female trainers. And they'll say it. You can see it all. Look for it. You see it everywhere. It's in all social media. They're saying they can't tell their female clients that they're wrong because they lose them and don't come back. When they have therapy with the men and the women, they take the woman's side. If they don't come back. The second the therapist goes, the woman's wrong, they don't come back anymore. She can't make any money. So if she wants to make money, there's a new type of therapy now. They don't often call this, but it's what it is. It's called affirmation therapy. It's utter garbage, helps nobody, which is why most therapists suck. I'm not a therapist. Which is why most therapists suck. It's affirmation therapy. So it's, you come with a problem, and I listen to your problem, and I affirm you. You love that, so you keep having problems, keep going back. Years ago, I did videos on this, probably 10 years ago, when we talk about personal coaching. And I said, most people who come to coaching don't want to get better. They just want to feel better. You don't need me. I'm the wrong coach. And I would literally say that all the time. Most people who want coaching do not want to get better. They want to feel better. Most people who go to therapy don't want to get better. They want to feel better. Well, I'm the wrong guy for you. So the manosphere is much more about that part of it. Man, wake up, square yourself away, get the help you need, get going. Then there's that other part that goes, women are all terrible. That part I don't like. So just take the first part of the manosphere. Yes, females could learn something from the manosphere. You don't really have that. You have, it's going to be okay. Sometimes it's not. Don't be mad at me. It's just true. That's all I'm saying. It's just true. Grace says, I would love to see you do a show on men being crushed in family court. Fine. Damn it. Got a World War II one I got to do. I got an education one I got to do. I still got the keto one I got to do. I do a family court one. I'm going to fit all these in. Doing 7 freaking shows a day. All right. Yes. Anyway. The system is rigged. A lot of women are ignorant on the family court system or choose not to hear it because it benefits them. Not all women, but a good portion. Yes, again, I don't blame the women. This is a systemic issue, right? This is a systemic issue. Absolutely 100%. Yes. Frog turning gay. That was funny. I was semi-drunk watching that documentary. Yes, I remember that. 100%. Matt, it was the endocrine disruptor. That's what it was. Thank you, Matt. You remember that. Yes. To female and they can give birth, I believe is what Joan said. Thank you. Yes. Absolutely. 100%. There we go. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. All right. Joel says, speaking of the shadow ban, Zuck committed the FBI, told him to censor, and he regrets it. Yes, I know. He zucked me immediately. Why is anyone in our government facing First Amendment violation charges? Because they don't. You're right. They should. Yes. Grace is going to say, my husband's a combat vet. My biggest fear was losing him to the global war on terror. He came home, but I feel like I lost him anyways. Very often they have. Right? They're changed. People are often changed. Yes, they are often changed. It happens many times. Grace says it's atrazine that makes the frogs turn to reproductive females. I heard it from RFK and Alex Jones on Tucker Carlson. There we go. So I knew there was something in there. So maybe I got to work on that one too. All right, I'm thinking about that too. Riot, how are you? I was in the 82nd Airborne Division. Now that is a tough division right there. Yep. And worked with Marines countless times. Yep, elite works with elite. You're correct. They were always good to work with and tough. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Yes. Yep. Riot says, honestly, I've had great experience with the VA. I know many don't, but I've been appreciative of it. Yeah. I think you are not as, it's not as common as you would think, is all I'm saying. Many people have been unhappy. Carl Du says, Russia and China use networks of regional allies, but their agendas such as Iran, Venezuela, and an alliance of Shahil states. Yep, that's in Africa. Do you see U.S. using a similar low-cost strategy as opposed to NATO? No, not at all. No, low cost is not what we want at all, brother. We want high cost. We want high cost. Yes. Grace says, I've seen women savagely shut down young boys for the stupidest NRAP, basically for being a boy. It's part of left teaching before. Yes, when you constantly trash boys, they have 2 choices. They become broken, emasculized men, which women don't want, or they become toxic, which women don't want. Sorry, which women sleep with. Sorry. Yes, they don't. Yes, which women sleep with. They don't want, but they sleep with. So yes, you have broken boys who women don't want, or toxic men, which women sleep with. So you have those 2 choices. And then the women then become baby mamas to the toxic men, and they go off to prison. And they're stuck with the emasculated men who they don't want. And nobody's happy. Yes. That's what happens when you do that. All the time. All the time. Problem is most women are raised by feminine. Yes. And why would they be? It's what I just said. Because their baby daddies are toxic and in prison, and they feel like they've been let down because they have. They had a toxic man who's in prison. It's accurate. They have been let down. They've been abandoned. It's accurate. He was a toxic male. Yes, it's accurate. Who are they going to blame? They can't blame the toxic guy. He's gone. So they blame they blame the emasculated man and then take it out on their kids. Yes. What do you expect? I don't mean to be mean on this. We see it like every day, right? We see it all the time. We see it constantly. It's very true. So NATO has been the most successful military collaboration in the history of the world. I don't know how you could say that and be so sure about that. How can you be so sure that's true? I mean, think about the ancient world, obviously. Medieval world. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure you could be so sure on that. And what do you consider success? Cold War was terrible. Vietnam still happened during NATO. Korea still happened during NATO. Maybe. I'm not sure I could buy that. I'm not sure I could buy that. Maybe. I'd need more data on that one to say that was true. I think it sounds good. I'm not sure it is good, right? We had the rise of Russia, Ukraine wars during NATO's time, right? All of the wars in the Middle East during NATO's time. Maybe. I don't know. Could be. Could be. I'm not sure. Yeah. NATO is why Putin's not attacking NATO nations. If that's true, why does NATO care? If that's true, why does NATO care? Right? If what you just said is true, NATO should not be concerned at all. Let him take over NATO. Can't go any further. But that's not what I hear. What I hear is he's going to hit Poland next. Impossible. Poland's NATO nation. Impossible. He's going to attack, the Estonia. Impossible. Estonia's in NATO. Impossible. If what you're saying is true, they should have no worries. This idea of him rolling over the countries is impossible because NATO. Hungary's in NATO. Can't take over NATO. Impossible. So if what you're saying is true, why do we care about Ukraine? Either it's not true, or maybe we shouldn't care about Ukraine. So, yeah, that's my issue. So he goes in. If that's true, then why are we worried? We keep saying that. Why are we worried then? And I'll ask one more thing. If Putin's so powerful, he started his attack in 2014. In 10 years, he's taken 20% of a country. In 10 years. 20% of a country in 10 years. So every 50 years, he takes one country. I know one country is probably one country too many, but I don't know if I want to jump through hoops because he takes one country every 50 years. Don't think Putin's going to be around for the next country. That's all I'm saying. So, no, right. It's a preemptive Ukraine. Good. Take the piece off the board. So he'll take one NATO country every 50 years. If he's alive that long, not sure I want to have hundreds of thousands of people dead because of that and billions and trillions of dollars lost just so he can lose one. I'm not there, guys. I know some of you don't like it, but I'm just not there. It's not where I am. I'm not ready to send Americans to go die there. I'm just not. I'm not there. I'm not ready to go to send American young boys there to do that at all. Grace says, if you want some feel good affirming coaching, probably not best to work with a Marine. Yes. Guys, I'm going to ask you one more time. Please click the button known as like. Please do that. I know I bug you, but you know how shadow banned I am. If you're watching on Twitter or Facebook, please share it. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Make sure you hit the notification button too. It does matter. With Super Chat me, I appreciate them always. And of course, membership is always important and valuable. Every member does count, makes everything move forward to the best of our ability. I do love it tremendously. It helps all the time. If we can do that, I do like that because the more members we have, the more people I know are going to see it. And that's the piece I love. More people will see it. And that really matters. So I do want to do a couple things if I could. One of these is I think that the Marine Corps birthday is an important day to remember because right now the Marine Corps is the only branch that is still keeping its numbers, the only branch that is showing positive masculinity. It's the only branch that people are actually jumping in because they want that rite of passage. It shows that America wants it. American youth does want it. It also shows something else. It shows how broken our children are, mentally and physically. It shows they are broken. Hopefully this Maha movement will do something. I hope it will. I don't know if it will, but I hope it will. I still have hope. I hope it will. I want to help our youth. I want to help our youth because they're the ones who are growing up to fix these things. It also shows that not everybody is anti-American. Many people, sadly, in America are, and they're wrong for being anti-American. Is America wrong? Yes, it is many times. It doesn't mean America is wrong. Our government has made mistakes, tons of it, tons of mistakes. I complain all the time about what America does. Systems that are broken. Doesn't mean the country itself is destroyed. It isn't. Young people have to save this. They have to. And part of that is having a rite of passage. And part of that is not being afraid of masculinity. that makes some of you angry to hear that, well, then you need to understand something. Masculinity matters too. It does. Doesn't mean to be toxic, but it matters too. If you think all masculinity is bad, you are broken. Let me repeat that in case you didn't hear me. If you think all masculinity is bad, you are broken. You need help. You should be repaired. No affirmation therapy, real therapy. You are in trouble. You are broken. When we talk about the manosphere, there is a chunk of the manosphere that is very good and a chunk that is really freaking broken. Also, it's not perfect. It's not perfect. There are pieces that are broken there. There are pieces that are really good. And both men and women should listen to the pieces that are good. It's okay. And the next thing to remember is, if we don't have masculine men, we will have unhappy men and we will have unhappy women, which means we have unhappy everybody. The small percentage of women who don't care about masculine men, they're a small percentage. The small percentage of men who don't care about being masculine, they're a small percentage of men. The vast majority of men would like to be masculine. The vast majority of women would like to have masculine men. Masculinity matters. We should not be ashamed. This election has put this to the forefront. This election has put us to the forefront. The idea that, wait a minute, a lot of men are tired of being scolded. We have feminized so much. We feminized the Democratic Party. It's feminized. Democratic Party. We feminized education. We feminized, and now we look for something bigger than ourselves to save us constantly. That is a feminization of our society. Femininity is not bad either. I don't want us to go the other way. I don't want us to be like, throw everybody into the, I don't want to go to the Handmaid's Tale. I don't want to go there either. But we can find a balance. Neither is bad. Both are important. Because you know what? I think most women would like to be feminine. I think most men would like a feminine woman. But we both have to be each other. Let's stop demonizing. Let's stop scolding. And instead, let's look for non-toxic masculinity and non-toxic femininity. Because they can be toxic femininity too. It can be both. Always, whenever we possibly can. Garrett, my friend, thank you for the 5 memberships. Please take advantage of those memberships, guys. Please jump on board. Take advantage of it. Please do so. Garrett, thanks yet again. I'm very happy when you do that. It helps everybody get back on board so we can follow this. So, yes, it does matter tremendously, guys. The Marine Corps is a good example of that makes me feel like America's still here. Because remember, the thing that I brought up early on, the Marine Corps still makes its numbers. No one else does. The Marine Corps does. There are still enough young men, and women too, but heavily men, who still want to join, who still want to be masculine, who still want to be men, and who still want to defend our country. It's not over. We're still good. Now is our time. Let's make this work. Guys, I want to say thank you so much for today. I appreciate all the time you gave me. I will be on again tomorrow. I'll be doing a Veterans Day show sometime at 7 p.m. Not sure the details, but I will be doing it tomorrow at 7 p.m. Please, as always, if you can, please put a comment underneath. Once this is over, I will see you all very soon.